Hello, and welcome to the Rough Edges podcast with Sarah I. Fox. In this podcast, I will guide you through my faith and mental health journey to dispel the stigma surrounding mental illness and to create an empowering resource for those who wish to discover more about these topics. I pray that this podcast will not only bless you, but that it will bring growth and healing to our communities. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Rough Edges. Today, I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Nikki Gal. Nikki Gal is an American fashion model, entrepreneur, and advocate. She started her professional career in 2014 as a fashion model, signing to 2 modeling agencies by the time she had turned 16 years old. In 2019, Gal started her entrepreneurial journey by successfully launching her digital design company, Thru Nikki. By 2022, she had successfully launched 4 more companies and imitates the swimwear brand that she also has and a photography brand, as well as content consulting company. In addition to her entrepreneurial outlets, Gal shows great passion within mental health advocacy. In 2021, Gal founded her nonprofit, Raw Talk with Nikki Gal, which has had an international reach of 40 countries. Gal currently works in both New York and Boston and enjoys doing yoga in her free time. Welcome, Nikki.
Yeah. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I think your show's incredible. And again, I'm just so honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. And so, Nikki, before we get into all of our wonderful topics for today, what are 3 things that you are most passionate about and why?
Ooh, 3 things I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about art. I'm passionate about mental health, of course, and of course my dog as well. I love my dog. I don't know. I think art, mental health, and animals are all very therapeutic things in my life, and they all mean something different to me, and they're all, part of my heart. So, yeah, I would say that.
Well, yes, I definitely resonate with those, especially the animals, because I'm a cat mom and my little baby boy Felix, he's everything to me.
Oh my God, so adorable. I would get a cat, but I'm so allergic. But if in another world, I would
Oh,
love to get a pet.
oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to get into your start with modeling. Like if you could go back in time to when you first started modeling, what advice would you give yourself?
Keep going. I think a lot of people, they follow their dreams very young. I know I was very young when I first started, my dreams as a model. I was only 15 years old. I'm 26 now, so it was roughly 11 years ago. And I think just, never wanting to give up on something that you want, and always believing in yourself. I know it sounds corny, it's a broken record. Always believe in yourself, but it's true, and you have to reach high and aim high and want high for yourself. I think the power of dreaming is just so strong, and none of us, we can never stop dreaming and can never dream enough. So I think I would say that, but I would also say too, be realistic with yourself, be honest with yourself, be authentic with yourself, but also build those things with other people too. I think when you're your most honest true self to yourself, that's great. But projecting that energy with other people as well is really one of the keys to life, 100%.
Yes, yes, I definitely agree. And especially when you said we could always dream more, but we sometimes don't dream enough. And we
Yeah.
sometimes don't look beyond what it is that we want to accomplish in life. And I appreciate that you even saying that to yourself as you first got started, because I can imagine just getting started in the modeling industry and what that must have been.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and yeah, it's different for sure. It's definitely a different industry. Not many people know much about it. There's kind of a mystique to it. But yeah, I'm just trying to navigate that very young. It was I don't want to say difficult, but it was different, but it was definitely fun, and I'm very grateful for that experience. It's an experience that I will always have no matter how old I get. So it's a very it's a very unique thing about me. A unique fact about me is that yeah, I started when I was very young in that industry.
Yeah, and given that, you have this modeling experience, what would you say is the most rewarding and the most challenging aspects of being a model?
I think just finding balance. I mean, when you're, in front of cameras and things like that, you can get very caught up in it, which isn't a bad thing. But really just finding a balance within mental health and yourself and just wanting to grow further and accept yourself. And I think that's really the key. But I also think just like keeping an open mind, like you can never stop. I mean, I always like to say, you know, be limitless, no matter what you do. The modeling industry specifically, it's kind of like a whirlpool. It's so easy to get sucked in and get really heavily consumed in it. And I mean, I know I did many times, but I've always had to kind of like go back to myself and say, you know what, like take a few steps back, do some self-analyzing, do some self-awareness, practice, 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 and, also choose self-love. And you keep all those things in consideration. You can say, okay, well, the modeling is great, but I can do so much more with my life. And that's also what led me into entrepreneurship as well. So just remaining limitless, I would say, and keeping a balance and being healthy, be healthy with yourself, take care of yourself, and not just saying exterior, but interior is so much stronger than your exterior, which is kind of ironic coming from a model, I guess, but it's true. Your internal is really so much more important than your exterior. So yeah, taking care of that for sure.
Yes, I definitely agree. And I can imagine like with the pressures of like maintaining your image and like having to, just make sure that everything is like as perfect as it can be, but like at the same time, like you expressing your beauty and like everything that comes with that. And I love what you said about like just knowing when to take care of yourself. Because a lot of the times, especially in like, society and this like modeling, like there's a lot of pressure to perform. There's a lot of pressure and perfectionism that goes along with that. And so like I would love to know like how do you like balance that like inner turmoil to like be perfect and the pressures of like wanting to perfect that image that you have and also knowing when it's okay to like take a break, to stop and really focus on like what's going on with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, perfection does not exist. It never has and never will.
Right.
I think there's definitely a narrative and a misconception that, models are perfect. Women have to look perfect. And I mean, I can see why people would think that because there is an image to maintain. And there's been an image for, years and generations and decades of the perfect woman and what a woman should be and what a woman should look like, not just face-wise, but also body-wise, beauty standards and, unrealistic and things like that. And just, a lot of standards.
Hello again. Before you dive into the rest of today's episode, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your support and for hitting that play button. If you want to expand on that support, here are 3 ways that you can do so. 1. Leave a review. If anything in today's episode resonated with you, or you want to share how the podcast changed your life, you can do so by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. 2. Check out our shop. The Rough Edges shop is a faith-based, women of color owned online shop where you can get a variety of products from tote bags, journals, t-shirts, crew necks, and more. 20% of the proceeds go to a mental health organization. So check it out at roughedgespodcast.com/shop. 3. Connect on social media. Rough Edges is on a variety of social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and more. If you want to connect outside of listening to the podcast episodes, you can do so on those platforms. If you have any more questions or want more information on the ways that I've just discussed, you can check out the episode description or stay to the end for more information. Now, enjoy your episode.
So for me personally, I think just learning to detach myself from an industry, really has helped me grow. And I'm not a fan of labels. I don't like labels. So really learning to detach myself from, let's just say, the model label. And for me, I mean, my name is Nikki. I am a woman. I am a human. I am a spirit, a soul. I don't consider myself a model by title. I don't consider myself really anything by the title. If anything, I just consider myself a woman who is following her dreams and her passions. And I think everybody should think of themselves as that. No one should define themselves by a career or what that career expects of them. I think it's really about, what's in your heart and what's in your soul and really trusting that process. But yeah, as far as balance, I think balance can come in all shapes and sizes. Balance is different for everybody. Somebody else's, balance is definitely going to be different from another person's. It's all individualistic, and embracing that and growing with that, and just also to understanding that and accepting that is just so, so, so key. And that has helped me too, and again, just like with the self-care, if I'm like having an off day or whatever, I'll take like a bath or something, or I'll put on like a face
Yes.
mask, or like something fun, just to get my head out of it, and kind of just detach from it. So learning to detach, but then reattach, and really just balance within that process, that kind of push and pull tactic, that has helped me, greatly in my career and also my personal life.
Yes, I really love that. It's just like finding the balance between it all because you
Yeah.
do want to excel in your career, but you also have to remember, and I love what you just said, like you're a human, you're a
Yeah.
woman before being a model and
Oh,
everything like that.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I appreciate that for sure. And I really love your draw to like mental health advocacy. So can you share about your experience in mental health and how that has impacted your modeling career?
Absolutely. I mean, mental health is something that I have been passionate about from a very young age. I started my nonprofit organization, Want to Talk with Nikki Gal, which you mentioned, back in 2021. And I just wanted to create a platform for women who, really just wanted a voice and wanted a safe space for their voice. There's not many safe spaces out there. I
Mhm.
mean, there is, but there isn't, you know what I mean? So I think just creating that and really just going with it and being honest with it as well, and helping women not just navigate themselves, but navigate themselves through, a platform, and wanting to grow from each other too, has been so inspirational and so beautiful. But within modeling, yeah, I launched my second podcast and platform, The Model Memo with Nikki Gal, back in December of 2023. So it's fairly recent. It's kind of a baby, still growing. But it's incredible, and I've interviewed so many amazing models from all over the world about their experiences within the modeling industry pertaining to mental health, and mental health awareness, mental health disorders, mental health, really just everything, all categorized within mental health. And it's been so beautiful to just meet so many amazing, talented, beautiful, organic, real, authentic, true women who go on my platform and speak their truth, not just about the industry, but also about the industry and mental health standpoint. So that's really been my work within the mental health community. I'm so grateful for the connections. I'm so grateful for all the amazing women that I've met within, I think, like 3-4 years. Yeah, about 3 years. I've interviewed over 260 women. So it's been amazing, and just having the platforms be international as well. I've been able to connect with women from all over the world. So I think as of 2023, as of April 2023, I've both of my platforms have hit 50 countries together. So
Wow.
it's been such an amazing, experience. And I'm very grateful for it. I'm forever grateful for it. It's beautiful.
Oh, that is amazing. And I definitely know how you feel about getting to connect with people and having them share their stories because like you said, we don't have many safe spaces. We don't have the platforms that we need to be able to talk about these pressing issues. And mental health is more and more on the rise, especially
Yes,
since like the pandemic and everything that happened in 2020 going forward. And so it's really important that we do have these spaces for women to not only share their experiences, but also help other women to share theirs as well, you know?
absolutely. I think the more we speak up on these things, the more stronger we get as a community. It's one thing to speak singularly on topics that, just as a singular person, but when we team up together as one, especially as women, it's such a beautiful thing to be, and, just united and spread that unity as well. And just ask people how they're doing. I think that's the key to life. And I'm just saying, so many of these keys to life, but these are the keys that I live through my life. But it's very true. It's so true. And just meeting so many people as well, and helping other people meet other people as well through the platform too. It's really just this beautiful journey of, really just uniting everybody. And yeah, it's beautiful to watch. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And so, speaking of like creating safe spaces and everything, you launched like two very amazing campaigns. One is called hashtag more than, and the other one is called mind over face. And so, please let me know, like, how did you start each of these incredible movements, and what is the message behind each?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so these two projects were incredible. I got the idea back in January. I was just, sitting in my bed. I'm like, you know what can I do? I love launching campaigns. I love being creative. I've launched, mental health campaigns in the past and artwork and all that, and, different things to multimedia. And I was thinking, what else can I do? What else do I have in my brain that I can dig up? And so I was thinking, okay, like, we should launch in May. So I was thinking to myself, okay, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So A, why not launch there? And B, why not make two campaigns that are both international, but also are pertaining to the mental health community within the modeling industry? So hashtag more than was the name that I came up with. But hashtag more than really represents that we are more than our face. We are more than our bodies. And this doesn't just go for models. This goes for other people as well, too. People that aren't involved in the modeling industry as well. We are more than our surface. And we have so many layers, and we need to embrace those layers. And same with Mind Over Face. Mind Over Face, again, was a campaign that was very similar to hashtag more than. Mind Over Face was, again, to get the message within the modeling industry that we are more than our face, and that our minds are more powerful and more really gifted than, let's just say, a face that you see on a catwalk, or a face that you see on, an advertising campaign for a fashion house or a magazine editorial. We go through magazines all the time, or advertisements on Instagram, or runway shows that we watch, on TV or whatever it may be, or on YouTube. And we'll look at the gowns, we'll look at the dress, we'll look at the face, whatever the model is wearing as far as the garment and the makeup and the face. But how often do we actually think about that model's interior and what they're thinking on that runway, or what they're thinking in that editorial, or what they're thinking in that campaign? We don't think about that very often. So me as a model, I thought like, okay, this is time to really, challenge this industry a little bit, but in a way where it's not just so much about the surface, but it's also, we're going to dig deeper into the interior of these girls and of these women, and see what the reaction will be from the public. And so that's what I really wanted to do within these campaigns, and really challenge that stereotype of, oh, models are just a pretty face, and oh, models are this, and models are, no, we're people too. We're people too. And, again, back to the label thing that I was addressing earlier, it was also kind of, these campaigns were also basically put in place as well to also challenge the industry, and challenge the labels of that industry. So it was very fortunate. And again, both of the campaigns were international based, and I had every model from each continent, believe it or not, except for Antarctica, because I don't think there's any models that but excluding Antarctica, but everywhere else. But it was incredible. And so I thought, all these women together from South America, North America, Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, and we all came together as one. And it was just again, such a beautiful experience. And again, it was definitely an experience. And also to, within the launch, just having these women come together. And it's interesting because we're all within the same industry. We're all involved. We all have the same interests, obviously, being in the same industry. But we're all from different countries, and we're all from different backgrounds, but yet we can relate. And guess what we're relating to? Mental health. So it was it's such a beautiful experience, and really an eye-opening one too.
Wow. Yeah, that is incredible. And to just see, like you said, the connection between just women from various countries, continents, not Antarctica, but
Yeah.
but just like the spirit of everybody coming together and really advocating and just letting people know we have to take care of ourselves, and especially our mental health, and especially as women, because a lot of the times we are so used to wearing so many hats, and it's we often forget to take care of ourselves in the process.
Totally. It's great to wear multiple hats. I wear multiple hats. You wear multiple hats. That's great. But when we have to dig down to our core and really reflect on ourselves, that's when things get real for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And speaking of wearing multiple hats, you have 5 businesses. And so how do you balance being an entrepreneur and modeling and prioritizing your mental health?
Oh yeah, I think that's $1 million question. Yeah, and again, that's the balance thing. I started with one company back in 2019. I was only 20 years old. I was a baby. And then when 2022 hit, I'm like, you know what? We're going to start, a few more and see what happens. And it just kind of snowballed. It was a snowball effect. And throughout the years, I've really learned to manage it, but manage it on my own time, So
Mhm.
yeah, just working with amazing people and really just finding that right recipe for me has been key. But again, it's not the business world isn't meant for everybody, and that's okay. But just starting to embrace it along the journey, and just again, like networking with people and meeting so many beautiful, talented souls within my entrepreneurial journey has really helped me not only balance but feel comfortable too. Comfortability is key. I mean, yes, I agree with that. Nothing good ever came from comfort zones. Yes, we can all say that. That's so true. But you do have to have a sense of comfortability, especially in the entrepreneurial life and the entrepreneurial world, because it does get chaotic. I will tell you that. So,
Yeah.
but it is worth it at the end of the day, because again, just to own something that speaks from me and speaks from my heart and my soul. And I keep saying that, but all these companies are so individualistic and they're so beautiful in their own right, but they're all a connection to me and my passions. They're all passion based and they're all creative based and artistic based. So they mean each and are so different, but they're so the same. So I think that's what makes the process a lot more beautiful for me too, because these are my passions and I'm tying them to careers. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow, incredible. I'm just like so like empowered by like hearing like everything that you've been able to like create and be a pioneer of, especially like again, like in the modeling industry where mental health is not always the forefront.
Right.
Like, and speaking of that, if you could change like at least two things about how women's mental health is viewed in the modeling industry, what would you change and why?
Well, more safe spaces for sure. There's not many. Within the mental health community in general, there's not many safe spaces, and that's why I created two platforms and two nonprofits for to really, make these safe spaces available and accessible to anybody who needs them. To the modeling industry specifically, I think there is a lot of mystique. There is a lot of unknowns. I wish that the modeling industry could kind of open up a little bit more doors, to not just acceptance of mental health, really just figures within the modeling industry can really come together as one and unify, just like I have been doing. Whether that be designers or other models or really anybody within that industry, just open more doors for mental health to be a topic. It is a real topic. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be heard more. It needs to be seen more. It needs to be felt more. And so that's basically what I would say on that. But I'd also say too, there's not much talking about it either. When you go to a casting, you go to a photo shoot, you're very quiet. There's not much talk. It's very business. It's okay to, ask someone, hey, how's your day? And it's okay to answer honestly. It's okay to answer honestly. A lot of times, you'll even, with just in regards to not just the modeling industry, but just in general, you can ask someone how they are and they'll say, I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay. But are they though? Are they? We don't
Yeah,
know. So just
right.
being mindfulness too, and ask people how they're doing, especially in the industry, because models do deal with a lot of mental health issues. Such as eating disorders, body dysmorphia disorders, depression, anxiety. These are very common things that we see within that industry. So just more communication, more fluid communication, more honest communication, more genuine communication, but also wanting to unify together as one as well. I would say those are the things that will change.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. And especially like you said, we don't take the time to actually sit down and really understand who like people are because we go to work, we do the grind, we get it together, and then we leave at the end of the day. And then we don't really have, I mean, there are like spaces where you can talk and events, but it's like, how do you get to know somebody on that level? And that just brings me to another thought. It's like, how do you just cultivate that vulnerability like in your like space and in your life? Because like I know it's hard, especially like for a lot of people to shed that exterior and the perfectionism and the pressure. Like yeah, how do you cultivate that kind of vulnerability with others?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, putting the egos aside, putting the makeup aside, putting the hair gel aside. So at the end of the day, we're all humans. Models are not. And there's so much more to life than just being in front of a camera and posing. It's fun, it makes money, it puts food on the table, but ultimately we are people. We are people at the end of the day, no matter what job we have, we are people. And it's okay to want to check in on other people and generally have communication and build communication. communication right at the bat might not be as strong as you would hope. Because again, there is that vulnerability thing, there's a comfortability thing, and everybody's vulnerability and comfortability is different. That's different for everybody. Honestly, acceptance, acceptance is key, but also just, wanting to motivate people to do better for their communities and wanting to shed a light on you can ask questions if you need to ask a question. You can say how you feel if you want to say how you feel.
Right.
Just remaining limitless in that sense for sure. So that's what I would say on that. But, also too, keeping other people in mind, wanting to build friendships and being respectful of other people's space as well. I would say that too. Those are key things. But yeah, within my experience as a model, witnessed and experienced a lot of distant behavior, which has been different for me because I wouldn't say I'm like the most people person on the planet, but I feel like talking with people here and there, why not? It's fun. It's a human thing to do. Why not? But everybody's compatibility level is different, so that's something that we have to kind of, respect and accept and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm more on the like introverted side of the
Me too.
spectrum.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get it. Like people do have different comfortability levels, and it takes time to really like,
Yeah.
be vulnerable in like certain spaces. But yeah, I do agree with you. And like we have to look at the people behind the mask, look at the people
Yes.
behind the image, Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. We're all more than what, we're in right now. We're all in bodies, but we're spirits at the end of the day. We're spirits. So,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Nikki, thank you once again for coming on and having this awesome conversation with me. But before we go, I have one final question for you. So, do you have any advice or words of encouragement for someone who is struggling to manage their mental health?
I can say three things. Number one, hang in there. Number two, talk to someone if you want. Not everybody's going to want to talk about their mental health, and that's okay. But if you can, you feel comfortable enough, and your comfortability level is there, talk to someone. It can be a friend, it can be an animal, it can be a parent, it can be, whoever. It could be someone that you're close to. And so I'd say that. And number three, I would say stay off social media. It's not good. So I would say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
If you want to be on social media, that's okay, but manage it.
Definitely, for sure. Once again, Nikki, thank you so much for joining me today. And can you remind the listeners of your podcast so they could like check it out?
Absolutely. You can find my podcast, The Model with Nikki Gal, on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and also Audible. So I'm on all those platforms. You can listen. Amazing episodes, really cool episodes. And again, thank you so much again, Sarah, for having me on. This has been such an amazing opportunity, and just speaking with you on your platforms is always such an honor. And again, thank you so much for having me. This has been like the best time.
Yes, thank you so much. And everyone, stay tuned for more empowering episodes on Rough Edges. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rough Edges podcast with Sarah I. Fox. If you want more updates on the podcast, you can follow on Instagram at rough.edges.podcast, or you can visit the official podcast website at roughedgespodcast.com. Thanks again for listening and have a wonderful day.